Impossible to rig. How educated obedience can make it impossible for the federal government, INEC, APC or PDP to rig or truncate the 2023 presidential elections or transitions. Intro. Do we Nigerians really want to have a country we can be proud to call ours anywhere and anytime? If yes, 2023 may be the only opportunity we have to get it right in a long while. So, let's save ourselves by throwing away all that divides us while embracing all that unites us. This is the only way we can rescue ourselves and our families from this burning house called Nigeria. What I have below is how the informed and well-meaning Nigerians, also known as the Obidients, can harness the current energy of the movement to compulsorily take over power in Nigeria this 2023. It's said that ideas rule the world, and here's a great demonstration of that popular saying. Oftentimes, history throws up opportunities for us to right our wrongs. There are opportunities when we have to choose the things that are really important to us. At such opportunities, at such moments, if you choose wrongly, that is, if you choose the things that are less important over the things that are more important, you will suffer the repercussions of your wrong choice for a long time before another opportunity to choose right comes. Even sometimes, an opportunity that is as good never ever comes again. Scary? Let it be so. Fellow Nigerians, the news is that we have such an opportunity right now. It's left for us to decide whether we'd make this good or bad news. And who are you? I can almost see your mind right now asking me this question. And who are you? Who are you to be telling us all these things? Please, I don't matter much now. Rather, my message is what matters the most. So kindly spare me an elaborate introduction. I don't want you to know me half as much as I want you to know what I'm telling you. After all, I recently introduced myself and I got an offended remark thinking I was only out to launder my image. But this is what you need to know about me for now. I am a researcher possessed by a set of ideas to help us redo this country into what we want. The current idea circulates around an out-of-the-box strategy that Obidients can use to force the corrupt establishment in Nigeria to relinquish power to the obedient elements this 2023. The truth is that the obedient Nigerians are mostly the informed, conscientious Nigerians. Their agitations come from an avalanche of information they have. They know at least that Nigerians are in dire need of a country that works to their satisfaction, unlike most people, most other Nigerians. Unfortunately, the uninformed, unscrupulous elements, that is, the disobedience, are the ones ruling the country right now. So, it's no wonder things are going so wrong. But how come that until now, the informed Nigerians are not able to use their information power enough to take over the running of the country? Why in this information age? So let it be that the obedient uprising is the first time the informed, conscious, and conscientious Nigerians would be daring the uninformed rulers. How can the informed obedience overcome the uninformed disobedience? The only way the informed can rule the uninformed is to prioritize and actualize the only advantage they have: information. This is the information age. Is a time when information is the paramount ruler of the world. So you can't have more of the ruler and yet you are ruled by those who have less of the ruler. So how can you use your power of information to take over the running of the affairs of this country come this 2023 through the obedient uprising? First, understand the principle of obedience. To start with, I define obedience as compulsory obedience to your best conscience rather than selfish acquiescence to this corrupt omnipresence, to this corruption omnipresence, as we seek total excellence from our 2023 electoral experience. This definition comes from the fact that the coinage obedience should be all about the values we have seen Mr. Peter Obi espouses in his public life. He is someone who we know to have stood his ground and held to his conscience amid the omnipresence of corruption in the Nigerian political and religious spaces. In his business life too, we haven't found any dealing to sabotage our economy and gain undue advantage like drug dealing or terrorism. So in the case of fellows like Femi Kuti, I have explained that the coinage obedience is not to be construed as just any obedience. Rather, obedience is priority obedience to your healthy conscience as a Nigerian or a human. Of course, this is what Nigerian icons like Femi Kuti already represent, just like his evergreen dad Fela and a host of other Nigerians dead and alive. With that hilarious short explanation in mind, here is my guarantee and commitment. If obedience can follow these steps below, no one, I repeat, no one can rig or truncate the Nigerian 2023 transition programs. To reassure Nigerians even more, here is a guarantee you can trust. If the corrupt establishment goes ahead to succeed in rigging or truncating the Nigerian 2023 transition programs, after you must have followed these steps as initiated, let the well-meaning Nigerians, and by application the Obidients, hold me responsible for that. That's how sure I am, and that's my own commitment. Now, this should be your side of the bargain. If you truly want to have a great country starting from 2023 and no other time, you have a rare opportunity to get it, and this is the time to show that you are committed to it rather than joking all the while. Therefore, if you are really serious about having a country devoid of corruption, unnecessary killings, unbearable hunger and hardship, and other intolerable woes plaguing Nigeria, you've got to commit to following these steps as an individual, obedient Nigerian. Step 1. Take time to tell yourself why you want Peter Obi as the President of Nigeria come 2023 and no other time. Yes, the change begins with you. I mean you, the reader, the one reading it now, not another person. So, sit down and list out your reasons for insisting on Peter Obi becoming the President of Nigeria following the 2023 elections. I notice that many Obidients are only using the obedient movement to catch a cruise. They are not committed to it at all. It's because such Obidients are yet to have strong personal reasons for insisting on Obi as the President of Nigeria come 2023 and no other time. If you are one of such obedients, you are the most dangerous enemy of the obedient family worldwide. See why such an unserious obedient is a great enemy of the obedient movement. If you don't have good enough reasons to be an obedient, when sincere disobedience require those reasons from you, you will think that they are attacking you, or that they are stupid or just plain wicked. So you will quarrel with them instead of explaining to them. Therefore, they hate you. As they hate you, they also hate any candidate you are supporting, if only to get back at you. They work against your candidate because it's not everyone who is evolved enough to support a cause purely based on principles. So you are actually demarketing Obi when you try to show the people are stupid for not being obedient. You make them hate Obi for being your candidates. As you can see, this is penny wise, pound foolish. You see, it would be stupid to expect everybody to see everything from your point of view every time. To expect everybody to see everything from your point of view every time. No, it's not wise. So the only wise way to make other people see things from your perspective is to explain your reasons for seeing things the way you do. And you cannot give reasonable explanations for your perspectives unless you have reasonable explanations for yourself for having those perspectives. That's because, as the ancient Romans used to say in Latin, and I quote, "Nemo dat quod non habet," unquote, which means no one gives what he does not have. If you know your reasons for supporting the coming of the Obi Aso Rock, then you can promote it and ward attacks off it without hurting people, thereby working against the actualization of your own desires. When you hurt people trying to market your desire, you are actually stopping the actualization of those your desires. You can look at my video and textual responses to the Soludo article here. I mean, I will share the document itself, the document I'm reading here. I will share it so that you can click through and read. The video is also on YouTube. And you see how I took the time to make my points adequately while still respecting the governor. After all, the respect we give to others is a respect we give to ourselves, especially when they are representing us in positions of leadership. So even while putting them through, we need to still respect ourselves in them. So please, your first step is to get ready with your reasons for supporting the Obidients 2023 presidential bid. Take time to make a full list of your reasons. For instance, for me, I want P2B to be the president of Nigeria come 2023 for the following strong reasons. 1. Not because he is perfect, but because he is the very best among all the candidates in the race. For instance, Obi may not be the best orator among the candidates, but Nigeria needs far more than a president with oratorical skills right now, as I will show you hence. We need more of a doer than a talker. Actually, P2B doesn't know how to market himself. Imagine someone who left 80-something billion naira in account and he went about saying 75. It was discovered that he left far more than he said. So, as for defending himself, he's not wonderful at it. But he is a doer. One of the reasons I think Obi is the best among all the candidates is because he is the only politician I know among the presidential contenders who would rather risk losing something as big as a governorship position instead of taking part in stealing some of the money and resources meant for taking care of the citizens. As even the Buhari Aso Rock admitted, Obi was impeached for refusing to inflate Anambra budget. You can read the article on Vanguard by clicking through this link on the document itself. This tells me that Peter Obi has enough moral rectitude and conscience to manage our treasury and resources without succumbing to any pressure to steal from the treasury for personal gains, as 99.9% of other Nigerian politicians are known to do, which is one of the major reasons Nigerians are suffering so much while the politicians are so superfluously wealthy. My third reason is this: Obi is the only presidential candidate I know whose governorship was truncated twice, and yet he bounced back and remained so undistracted that he still performed far above average, with a line of prestigious laurels to show for it, including one from the globally reputed Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. You can click through to see it in the actual document. Below are some of the notable awards as listed on Wikipedia. The Sons Man of the Year 2007, This Day's Most Prudent Governor in Nigeria 2009, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation's Best Performing Governor on Immunization in the South East 2012, Silver Best Man of the Year 2013, Distinguished Alumnus Award, Lagos Business School Alumni Association 2014, Nigerian Library Association's Golden Merit Award 2014, Political Equestrian Order of St. Sylvester Pope and Martyr 2014, Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Onitsha's Golden Jubilee Award 2015, This Day's Governor of the Decade 2020, Leadership of the Governor of the Decade 2020, Leadership Excellence Award Man of the Year 2022. If you want to have an idea of the kind of hopeless situation that Mr. Peter Obi confronted and transformed in Anambra State that got those awards for him, you can read this recent Vanguard article series, Peter Obi as Tough as a Nail, parts 1, 2, and 4. I couldn't find the third part of the series. Now, imagine a situation that led to Obi's predecessor, Dr. Chris Ngige, getting abducted from his office as governor and forced to resign. Think of the kind of security details that go with a governor, yet he was kidnapped in Anambra governor's office. That tells you Anambra's case was that hopeless, almost more hopeless than Nigeria's case right now. But Obi changed it all to a success story as we have it today in Anambra. Therefore, I am sure that he has the resilience and political willpower to transform Nigeria from its hopeless situation to the country of our dream. One of the major problems with Nigeria is that many of our leaders have good intentions but lack the political will to pursue their good intentions to actualization. A good example here may be Goodluck Jonathan. Number 4 reason, Obi is one of the few Nigerians who ruled the state as a governor and did not take advantage of the position to gain more positions for himself, friends, and family members. For example, he didn't corner a senatorial position for himself, his wife, or his in-law, as many other politicians in his position do, although this is going to make many of Obi's friends and family to hate him a lot. It shows that he's going to manage Nigeria for Nigerians and not as a personal estate as most other politicians in his position would do. Do you know how many positions, example job positions, that should have accrued to you, I mean you reading this, but was cornered by a politician for a family member who doesn't deserve it? In fact, this is one of the major problems with Nigeria, because when people occupy roles that they are less qualified to occupy, while those who are more qualified to occupy the positions are edged out, the country's productivity will suffer, causing the economy to be in big trouble as it is right now in virtually every sector. Number 5 reason. As an economist trained in the top business schools across the world and the country, Obi has all the information and connections needed to revive Nigeria's economy that is almost dying now. One popular song says, "Follow who know road," and I add, if you don't, you will get lost. And you can see how we've got lost as a country for the past 7 years plus, because we go follow who know no road. Number 6 reason. Obi has enough stamina to pilot the affairs of Nigeria firsthand. Our situation is so desperate that we don't need a president who sits in the office or lies in the hospital most of the time. Rather, we need a president who gives an assignment and goes to supervise the assignment by himself. Otherwise, some corrupt people will deceive him and mess up the system for him. I believe that this is one of the biggest problems with the Buhari presidency. Meanwhile, I want to use this opportunity to address President Muhammadu Buhari of Nigeria. The only opportunity you have to right the wrong, to get back your reputation that you have lost with this presidency, is to give Nigerians a truly fair, free and fair election come 2023. Meanwhile, if you don't give it, Nigeria may not exist after that. If we don't have free and fair election in 2023, Nigeria may not exist after that, because Nigerians are really angry. Number 7 reason. An Obi presidency will ensure that we uphold a highly needed just system in Nigeria without hurting the entire system. This is what I mean. One of the things affecting Nigeria's economy is that one of the 3 major blocks of the country, that is Igbos, feel terribly shortchanged in the Nigerian polity. Whether anyone agrees or not, the agitations coming from the southeast are affecting all of us. For example, agitations by IPOB have brought a lot of bad names and diplomatic hurdles to Nigeria, especially because most of the international community sees a lot of truth in IPOB's bitter criticisms of the country. No wonder the international community didn't agree with the federal government of Nigeria to proscribe IPOB. More diplomatic hurdles means less diplomatic relations and trade cohesion, which equals to a more doomed economy. Now it seems that the higher powers are trying to use Obi to settle all this. So those powers seem to have given the country a fully qualified and widely accepted candidate of Igbo extraction, but who is largely unaccepted at home. For example, as we know, IPOB and many Igbo big names have been attacking Obi relentlessly for seeking to become the president of Nigeria, and surprisingly for widely differing reasons. This is good for Nigeria because it means a President Obi will work for all Nigerians while silencing every agitation coming from the southeast. A President Obi doesn't even need to fight hardcore IPOB with any federal might. Rather, the agitations will die a natural death, since the international community will no longer be sympathetic towards such agitations. So by supporting Obi, I'm only working in line with what I honestly believe is the option the Almighty God wants for the country for 2023 as events reveal to me. Let's stop falling together into a deep ditch as brothers fighting, holding on to old quarrels. Rather, let's be wise, reconcile, separate from our fight, and try rescuing ourselves from falling deeper and deeper. Number 8, I support Obi for his simplicity, humility, and people-oriented attitude to public office. And this is despite his uncompromising stubbornness to the corrupt system. I mean that Obi is not equally humble to the corrupt system as he is with the people. It's just clear that his predominant political loyalty is with the masses. Nigerians need a president they can complain to, and he listens and acts but stands strong against the corrupt establishment that is plundering the country. How do I know that Obi listens as a leader? When he was the governor of Anambra, he had such an open-door policy that even the senior prefects of every high school in the state had his personal phone number and could call him. That's the strategy he used to root out endemic corruption from numerous sectors in the state. As everyone can see, since Peter Obi administration in Anambra State, the state has been topping the WAEC performance lists all the way from the backside of the lists. Also, governorship elections in Anambra have been favoring the most popular candidates only since then. These are some of the gains that come from rooting out corruption, and Obi achieved it by, among other things, being close to the people rather than sitting in the office and getting feedback that will likely be untrue or poorly considered from some pot-bellied, tactless aides. Now, as a presidential candidate, you can see how closely and frequently he engages with the electorate. He is not lazy at all, unlike most other Nigerian politicians basking lazily on their stolen wealth that they can't feel what Nigerians feel and actually look down on the average Nigerian. Number 9, all the 8 reasons above are why I want Mr. Peter Obi to become the president of Nigeria. Now, this is why I want him to become the president of Nigeria at no other time than 2023. Nigerians have been subjected to untold and unnecessary hardships, deaths, and misery in recent years more than at any other time in contemporary history. So, it would be a great reproach for Nigerians to see a way out after suffering all these years and fail to use the opportunity. Such a failure would send the signal that Nigerians, not just Nigeria, are nothing but shitholes, as a former American president once said to our offense. We can't afford to keep punishing ourselves for another 4 to 8 years when we have a great opportunity to rescue ourselves once and for all. We may not even have an opportunity like this again. Right now, our debt profile as a country is getting so high that we might as well be getting into another colonialism, with the Chinese becoming our new colonial masters, unless something decisive is done urgently to stop this free fall. We can't continue to die in the hands of bandits, terrorists, and criminals, all because we don't have leaders who care about us enough to suffer for our sake rather than make us suffer for their sake. When Mr. Peter Obi risked losing his governorship seat on 2 occasions rather than inflate the state budget, he showed he is a leader who is ready to suffer for the people to enjoy, a leader who is ready to bring welfare to his people at all costs. We can see him still suffering from multiple attacks from the corrupt establishment. Now that Nigerians have seen one politician who would rather stand with the people than cooperate with his colleagues against the people, make the people no mumu themselves, so make them no allow the thieves run the street again. Oh. Step 2. Use this style to convince as many disobedients as possible to become obedient. You see, I know that it's not easy to try to convince people, which is why marketing roles are some of the toughest jobs out there. However, nothing good comes easy, so let every obedient take this narrow path from today and see what happens. So, Wherever you find a disobedient online or off, don't quarrel with them. Maybe they've not seen things from your perspective. So, offer them some of your reasons why they should be obedient, meaning obedient to their consciences, as I have earlier stated in my song definition somewhere at the beginning of this message. This is to say that you need to have appealed to their consciences before asking them to be obedient to those consciences. How do you appeal to their consciences then? All you need is to give them your reasons for insisting on an Obi Aso Rock. You can at least share this document with them in case you don't have the time to keep repeating yourself every time you meet an obedient. I'm going to share options you will use to share this on the actual document. So click through, go to this point, you will see a link you can use to share. After appealing to their consciences, let them know the serious implications of choosing the wrong president for Nigeria in 2023. For example, I tell them as follows: the hunger, hardship, and high cost of things in Nigeria now is due to the fact that those who are managing our economy lack the needed competence, character, and commitment. Now that we have seen someone who has not only displayed these three qualities in a past position but is now showing that he wants to do more, why should we continue to punish ourselves by electing those who we can't trust the same way? Remember that a bad economy doesn't discriminate between a northerner and a southerner, or a Christian and a Muslim, etc. Why should you employ someone just because he is from your side of the country rather than because he can help you to get what you want? Is that wise? Just like having a medical condition and you are insisting that you can only be treated by a doctor from your town, even if there is no doctor from your town who can handle the situation. Remember that President Buhari's home state of Katsina has been one of the worst hit by the terrorists who have been renamed as bandits. Invariably, there may be many Katsinans who supported Buhari to become the president just because he is from Katsina, but may have lost their lives, their investment, or their property to bandits. Penny-wise, pound-foolish. We need to be worthy ancestors to our unborn generations. The more we support bad leadership because of the present benefits we stand to gain from it, the more we help the bad leaders to frustrate the destinies of our children, children's children, and so on. With this, expect that our generations will be slaves to the generations of those who are working tirelessly now to preserve the future of their children. So let's not allow our unborn generations spit on our graves for letting them be slaves to other people's generations, such as Chinese. The teachings of all our religions, from African traditional religions to Christianity and Islam, urge us to be fair towards one another. That's another reason. For instance, the Holy Quran and Nisa 4 verse 135 has this to say: O believers, stand firm for justice as witnesses for Allah, even if it is against yourself, your parents, or close relatives. Be they rich or poor, Allah is best to ensure their interests. So do not let your desires cause you to deviate from justice. If you distort the testimony or refuse to give it, then know that Allah is certainly all aware of what you do. So, let's use this opportunity to assuage frayed nerves in the Southeast, especially since it's even for the good of the whole country, and just as the scriptures the Quranic scriptures tell us. If there are Nigerians who don't want Igbo to have their Biafra, and at the same time they don't want Igbo to be president just because they are Igbo, then those Nigerians are witches. They are certainly witches. They are certainly not members of any of our beautiful religions that teach us to be fair at all times, even if it appears to be against us, our friends or family. Note, the whole point of steps 1 and 2 above is to win the hearts of most Nigerians to see strong reasons why they should support the only presidential candidate who has consistently shown that he truly cares about the people. Once we have the majority of Nigerians seeing these strong reasons with us, then the next steps would be to use the numerical advantage of the well-meaning citizens to yank off the stranglehold of the corrupt establishment from our respective and collective destinies. So we get to the next steps. Step 3. Start or belong to a platform for obedience in your polling unit or ward. Start or join such a platform in the polling unit or ward where you are going to vote. Even if you are not physically around, you can still do something with the help of tech. For example, you can start a WhatsApp group for Obidients in your polling unit, or you can join an existing one. You can also start a physical meeting or weekend workouts. This will help with forming close, formidable ranks and with getting or relaying important information such as voter education snippets from INEC in a timely manner. Information you know is power. For instance, on election days, I recommend that Obidients in each polling unit should meet at a place in the morning and move towards the voting centers together. This will reduce the incidence of attacks being targeted at them. They should stay together and vigilant at the polling stations till elections are over. Those who have any refreshments to share should bring them to help people stay. But if you think that this may be misconstrued as vote buying, we can forget about that side. Everyone can bring his own refreshment from home. Step 4. Support only obedient candidates at every level of the elections. If the corrupt establishment fails to rig the elections or truncate the transitions, their last resort will be to work towards impeaching President Obi a few months after assuming his presidential seat. He may get the mandate back because past experiences show that he is that tough. But no matter how strong he is, such an interruption must affect the overall performance of his administration, as it happened in Anambra. A popular saying has it that prevention is better than cure, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Support only obedient candidates at other levels of the election. By obedient candidates, I mean candidates that support the Obidients 2023 vision, and it is clear enough that they support it. Whether they are in Labour Party or not, I recommend that we support them. Although some people might try to use it to deceive the Obidients if they start working against, some people might try to use it to deceive the Obidients. But if they start working against President Obi later on, we are going to use their past words and actions against them. So, how do you identify an obedient candidate then? 1. It may be that their party adopted the Obidients 2023 ticket, and so they are campaigning in favor of the ticket side by side with their own campaigns. Number 2. Some candidates may put the photos and logo of the Labour Party side by side with their own photos and logos and speak regularly in public in favor of the Obidients 2023 vision. This can happen even when their party has not adopted the Obidients 2023 ticket. Here is an example I got from Enugu State. These are APGA candidates, but they are supporting the Obi. Now we've got to think beyond party. We've got to think in terms of personality more than party. We have been deceived with party a lot. Number 3, lastly but most importantly, if the candidate is contesting under Labour Party, he should be your first choice, everything else being constant. This way, we can be sure that it will not be easy to impeach our man unjustly. After assuming office in May 2023. Step 5. Visualize and pray about the actualization of an obedient administration in Aso Rock from 2023. Let's take note of this. Some people tend to look down on spirituality just because religions have been abused a lot around us. But we need to know that spirituality and religion don't mean the same thing at all. That's why you can have people who exercise spiritual authorities in both Christianity and Islam alike, and even traditional religions. The Christ Jesus said, and I quote, "It's not those who call me Lord, Lord that will possess the power of God, that is, enter the kingdom of God, but those who do the will of my Father in heaven." People who do the will of God above their own will are the ones who possess the power of God above their own power. For instance, no Christian can convince me that the hijab apostle Aisha Yusuf is not doing the will of God by supporting the obedient uprising just because she is a Muslim. Now, if the obedience must win what I prefer to call the battle of 2023, then they must fire on all canisters. This is to say that they have to use all the powers at their disposal. Paramount among these powers is spiritual authority. Unarguably, among the obedients are some of the most conscientious Nigerians you can find. A good conscience gives you a great moral strength, which also boils down to a lot of spiritual advantages that many people don't know about. And you will never know how powerful you are in the spirit until you start utilizing the spiritual powers you have. So, obedience, let's contribute our godly spiritual energies to help work out our collective desire into actualization this 2023. And one of the most effective ways we can do this is through visualization and prayer. So what do? Simple. Every day, make out time to speak your desires about the Obidients 2023 vision into the ears of the creator of the world according to your personal faith. If he created the ear, be sure that he can hear you, as stated logically in the Bible, Psalm 94 verses 8 to 9. After doing so, trust the higher powers so much that you are sure that they will do what you said. This story can help you to do this well. Imagine that you are a student and the billionaire Aliko Dangote is your dad. You are in school and there is an emergency project fee of 100,000 naira you need to pay. You take your phone and you call your billionaire dad. "Hello, how is school, Ahmad?" Dangote says. Immediately he picks your call. "I'm okay, dad. And you? I hope you're doing fine," you reply as a good child. "Yes, your mom and I, we're okay. We only feel lonely without you being around." "Okay, dad, please don't make me weep." That's you. "Okay, I'm going for a meeting with my staff now. Is there anything urgent you want to tell me?" says your dad, Aliko Dangote, pausing to hear whatever is troubling you at the moment. "Dad, they're asking us to bring 100,000 naira project fee and my pocket money is running low," you say, turning down your voice. "Okay, I've heard you. Let's talk when I'm back. Bye," says Aliko, and his line goes dead. Tell me, if you are Ahmad in this story, would you still worry about the project fee after this call? No, of course. Rather, you already consider the fee paid. You considered it done just by telling your beloved father about it. If you can trust a human so much, you shouldn't trust God less. So when you pray, believe so much that God would answer you to the extent that you literally see the answer to your prayer already. As the Christ Jesus put it, when you pray for anything, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Mark 11:24. This very act of seeing your desire into actual existence, it is what modernists now identify as creative visualization. In other words, you create it by visualizing it. You can read more about creative visualization on Wikipedia. I'm going to link it. I forgot to link it. I will link to it in the actual document so that you can click and read it, or you Google it. It will even help you in your personal life. If you learn creative visualization, it will help you to get many of the things you need in your personal life. So this way, let's pool our resources into an ocean that none of the enemy juju can match. We are stronger. We only have to use our power. Conclusion: I have shared as I have been led. It's left for you as an individual to take it to heart and use it if you really want to have a better country. Know that nothing good comes easy. Please, this channel was founded to deal with immediate problems that we are having. For instance, we are going to be talking a lot about how to reduce the recession, how to avert the recession, not reduce, how to stop it from coming. The recession that is being, the economic recession that is being predicted for 2023, we can work together to stop it. It's one of the things we are going to be discussing on this channel very soon. So we discuss a lot of things that can help you as an individual and that can help the society. So please, kindly subscribe and also click the bell, the notification bell, so that you can be getting our publication as soon as they come. And also, please kindly share this so that it will get to as many Nigerians as possible. Easier. These are our little ways to help get the kind of country we want. Thank you very much.